We're knights of the round table, we dance whenever we're able. We do routines and all the scenes to footwork impeccable.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another inning of Fantasy Basebrawl. I'm Naz. Hope you enjoyed the 7th inning stretch episode yesterday. As I discovered, that actually took me way more time editing than just a standard playthrough episode. So I'm still going to keep making them because it was fun. But in the meantime, we're back to the usual. Today we're looking at another commander from the Final Fantasy set. This time, Dion, Bahamut's Dominant. At least I think it's pronounced Dion. From Final Fantasy 16. I never played Final Fantasy 16. I stopped at 12. As you might have heard me say in the Tidus deck, that 10 was probably the last good one they made. I played 12. I remember I was so excited for 12, bought it. And the day it came out, I played it for a week, and I never touched it again. Just didn't care for it. I'm one of those, one of those older players that likes the turn-based. So, sue me. But hey, I like Kingdom Hearts. So I don't mind command, action commands, and I'm sure I'm going to get around eventually to playing the Final Fantasy VII remake. Anyways, you didn't come here to hear me complain. So this is a very simple, basic deck. It's just knights. Everything is built around knights. It's built around especially Dion's mechanic giving all your knights flying. So you're basically trying to get as many knights as you can on the board. Hopefully in conjunction with Dion, give them evasion and just swing in and kill the enemy. We have the Strixhaven Stadium, the shifted version here anyway. That's your alternate win con. You can try to bog down the opponent. We do have several cards to make sure that our creatures are safe. Flare of Fortitude is an awesome card, by the way. If you're not using it, you should be, especially if you're using Monowhite. I'm not the biggest fan of free casting spells, but, I mean, if they want to keep putting them in the game, I guess I don't really have much of a choice. It'd be silly not to. This coming from the guy that refuses to use Mana Drain. You got your removal. You want wide variety removal. Again, you're Monowhite, so you got to have as flexible as possible. You want as many options as possible. We do have a board sweeper in the form of Day of Judgment as an emergency. We also have Farewell. Oh, and Avacyn is there too. This is mostly knights, but we do have a handful of not even a handful. There's only, I believe, there's only 2 creatures in this deck that aren't a knight. One of them is Avacyn. Give all your creatures indestructible. And then we got Elish Norn to act as a buff. Buff and reduce your opponent's creatures at the same time so you could swing in without having to worry about anything. I guess technically we have a Chroma's Memorial kind of as a finisher. Bring that out of nowhere and then swing in. Got some equipment to use. Keep your commander protected. The Mithril Coat. But yeah, like I said, this is and then you have Moonshaker Cavalry as another finisher. But have a look at what you see here, if you can think of any suggestions to improve upon the deck. I'm all ears. Maybe I have too many creatures. I try to get in as many creatures as I could that have effects, so you get some. You have something like it's like this. You could search out lands. Where's that? The farmhand also search out some lands and also becomes a knight. I mean, I guess technically this is another creature that isn't a knight when it hits the board, but you can become a knight. This is extremely useful. People who aren't suspecting land destruction from a mono deck, a mono white deck. So it's like having an extra, demolition field without having to take up slots for your lands. Of course, you have this because you're going to want to be attacking nonstop, so you can start drawing cards. Do have the Arch of Araska because you should be having lots of creatures on the board. You should be having Ascend fairly quickly. Send this looking for historic cards. They're looking for your legendary knights, for your artifacts, for your sagas. Only really have one saga in this entire deck, and that's Knights of the Round. This is If someone, by the way, I played, when I was playing draft, I had someone use this against me. Oh, God, it's brutal. We're looking for things, so we can get some free cards. When we have nothing else, if we've played out our hand, you want something to search out, some options. But anyway, again, this is straightforward. Like I said, this is straightforward mono-white aggro. Just get in as fast as possible and take out the opponent. In my play testing, I haven't really seen any specific weakness to the deck, so we'll see if there's anything that we had come across today. But with that being said, let's play a brawl. I guess a decent hand. I don't like not having a lot of creature options, but I could probably take out his early artifacts and things like that. So let's give it a shot. I don't really want to play in such a way where I'm going to keep mulliganing to get a perfect opening hand. I'm fine just trying to get something workable, and that's kind of the challenge of building a good deck. Let's kill it now. I'm willing to bet his next option is to cast his commander, so I'm not going to play Dion, because I plan on wiping the board. And unfortunately, he did get this, which means he might have a counter in his hand. In which case, the game's effectively over. Unless he decides to actually explore with this, so we'll see. Okay. Shortage of land for our opponent. Alright, no point in attacking. I'm gonna wipe everything. Yeah. Miracle top deck. Looks like the board wipe didn't even matter. Nothing but lands that time. No good options, no card draw. Another dragon deck. Alright, this is much more workable. Gotta try to build it up quick. This is a finisher. Oh, I thought this thing destroyed artifacts. But I was wrong. Whatever is my opponent's next move is going to determine everything. Didn't have any real defense. You couldn't build it quick enough. I'm not particularly fond of this hand. Another multicolor. Well, I guess having this handy, I'm sure the opponent's got... well, I know he's going to have plenty of enchantments. Probably have some mono rocks, too. Some removal. Kind of hosed on land. If he does cast Tom... I don't think he's going to cast Tom Bombadil without Saga's out. Let's just try to get more creatures on the board. Yeah, let him waste it on that. You know, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to get some land. All right, I want to keep a creature, so. Time. You know what? Let's get rid of that. Otherwise, I'm going to be able to start. You'll be able to endlessly flash that in for. Won't do any good against this. Again, when you're not getting lands, like, what can you really do? Fair warning, if that's the next thing isn't a land, I'm out of here. You know what? Yeah, let's get that out. Forget it. Didn't get enough land. Opponent got everything he needed off top deck. Forget it. It's not a bad hand. God, I really hate getting this in my opening hand. You know, this should be good because, okay. Yeah, you know, I'm going to go ahead and risk it because I can get land ramp with this. Try to prevent him from ramping up, which is basically what Itali's the whole gimmick strategy is. Yeah, game's over. Unless I have a board wipe, I'm not winning this. I don't know why he wouldn't just cast his commander. Oh, that probably is a better reason. He'll probably get into a Chroma's Memorial watch. Yeah, but just as well. That's the end of the game. I guess this is okay. I probably could take Quendi out of this. I just like him for his flavor. He's cool. Although I do tend to like his original card art better. Presence on the board going. Jesus. Okay.
Another exciting expedition. Go on, tell your story.
It's doing good. Sorry for the dead air. All of a sudden, I'm very popular and people trying to get a hold of me. Guess he felt like he had no options. Again, this card, if you can get this out in draft, it's freaking nasty. Has its equal uses here. Alright. Again, need to outramp this guy. So this is decent. I can think of very few situations where you wouldn't want to search up a Plains card with this creature, so. Let's give him a target. He's probably going to get shot down really quick, so I'm just going to go ahead and scry now. Oh, I've got a chance. You know what? That ain't bad. See what he's got. Something big, apparently. Alright. Luckily, we do have this. We get, again, start getting stuff on the board. Not yet. He's using his single target removal on Nadar. I wouldn't like it, but I'd rather it be used on him than Dion. Okay. I can either try to get rid of this with the bodyguard, or I can just bring out Dion and start swinging now. I don't think he's going to have anything that can remove for one. I'd be very surprised. This will discourage him from attacking. Okay. I don't know why. I'm suspecting he's got something like... Oh, I don't know. Settle the wreckage. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll put the Swiftfoot boots on Nadar. We're going to leave mana open to flash in the bodyguard if we need to. Okay. Yeah, I guess not much of a choice. I don't have enough to transform the farmhand and also cast the bodyguard, so let's go ahead and try putting this on the Dion. Okay. At this point, we can do some damage. Just wondering if the final thing he's holding in his hands is swords. Well, I figure he would have just used it already. Okay. Are you looking for a sweeper? Okay, now we drop the bodyguard. Nothing left for him to do. I don't have anything to take care of Vivi when it hits, so I gotta try something else out. This is even worse. Jeez. No, I would just rage quit at this point, but we'll give it a shot. Token. See what he does. I kind of want to wait because I want to see if I can get some lands. I would hate to scroll through a bunch of lands right now. Great card against counter-heavy decks, by the way. Okay. Okay, the clock. Geez, just not getting land. I'm really wondering what they're going to do with Vivi. Vivi is just way too powerful as is to exist. Not without some kind of errating, something like you have to tap to do it or something. And the fact that you can use his ability the turn he comes out is pretty outrageous. Yeah, you've seen one VV deck, you've seen them all. I see this so many times in conjunction with this commander. Hey.
Otter to otter? Well, gotta work with what's available.
I think very soon I'm just going to start rage quitting against this commander on principle. I don't even feel like wasting my time to see if it's a hit or miss. Again, can't get a land to save my life. You know, we're going to chalk this up to a forced loss here. A little something for you before I go. The salt runs thick. You notice I was doing pretty good damage to the guy. Again, because of the nature of that commander, despite being, you know, handicapped by 3 lands. Okay. Yuma Proud Protector. I don't see this commander very often, so that's a refreshing change. Okay. That being the case, I don't know if I want to destroy his lands then. Plus, not a lot of... Other than that, that's the only... I guess this could work. I found this card to be great in draft, by the way. It's so incredibly flexible. Ooh. However, I'm going to go ahead and sack it to the Mox. As a side note, again, one of those things where I have a very hard time deciding whether or not Arena has some form of rigging to it. This is another card. Because you almost always see this early and quick in the game. You almost never see this past turn 5. We'll see what our opponent has up his sleeve. And this is why we have this. You know, credit where it's due. I mean, he has a fairly original commander. I hardly ever see this commander get used. So I'm all for seeing, you know, variety. Like I said, my point, the point I was trying to make with this artifact is it's, again, you almost always see it exactly on turn 3, 90% of the time. All right. A lot of great opening options. I wouldn't mind him playing out into this and then just wiping the board. That's really all we've got. Let me see if we can get something better. Okay, this should be okay. Gotta have lightning bolt in his hand. The bodyguard to take care of Ashling. Like I said, he's probably got spot removal. That's likely what's being held up, what he's holding priority. Okay. So hopefully if we give him a bigger body... fast enough. We're going to leave it up to so we can flash this in if need be. He has that instant speed, so... If you cast this, the bodyguard's coming in. Pretty nasty card. That's a good card. Probably gonna try to shoot down the fox. Yeah, like I'm gonna block with that. There's the bomb. You know, Naz's opinion here. You didn't ask, but I'll give it to you anyway. You know, I don't know if we really needed a white version of Craterhoof Behemoth. Like, did the game really need that? Like, would Selesnya already be, you know, powerful enough with Craterhoof? You give it a second way to, you know, evade and power up. But, you know, it's a knight. I'll throw it in here. Might as well use it. Okay, actually not a bad choice for a land ramping deck. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and keep this hand. Did exactly what I was hoping he'd do. I think what I'm going to do is try to first off get in the key to the archive, see what that gets me, if I can get a Wrath of God out of that. I will take the regrowth. If for nothing else, to get Farewell back in my hand. Okay, Mythweaver. I mean, might as well. I wouldn't have enough to cast it after. Well, no. I could bring out the Chrome Mox with that, but let's not do that. Let's give up Quendi. Not looking good. Okay, well the token it creates won't get reach, so this is going to become a big problem if I don't take care of it soon. Otherwise, I wouldn't put anything out.
Welcome, my companion.
Lord. I kind of want to hold off to see if I can get something out of this.
I've delayed you long enough.
I think the opponent's got just way too big of a mana advantage at this point. Just ramped into so much land so fast. I don't think he's going to have to worry about anything. He's already fished enough lands out of his deck. He's probably going to be top decking just great stuff from here on out. Okay. Might as well swing for some damage. Ooh. I mean, I don't know if a board wipe would do any good right now. Now that I think about it. Oh, the tutor would be good. We can search up Avacyn. I have my chump blocker here. I'm honestly surprised for a landfall deck he didn't get the staples I thought he would get. Game's over. Like I said, he ratcheted into lands way too fast. He was just going to keep pulling great stuff, so no point. You know, it really does seem, doesn't it, like your opponent always just gets the perfect solution, like right before you can pull something. Like if he hadn't have gotten that, the next turn Avacyn was coming out. And I don't think he would have had anything to work around with Avacyn in play, other than trample, but no, top decks into, you know, something that can kill every single form of extra color mana I have. No. This is better. This is so Genova. Shoot. All right, I'm gonna go for it. God, if I could get out Elish Norn fast, that'd be great. Okay. Okay. You might... Oh. Okay. Twice a negative is still a negative. Oh, that'll do it. Really doesn't matter, though, unless he... Yeah, you know, he'd have to get rid of Elish, and at this point he's taken so much damage. You know, he was just going to get... He needed a board sweep at this point. All right. Got time probably for one more, win or lose. My dog is getting hungry. He needs to be fed. Ooh. No, this would be great in the late game, but not now. Nothing for the early game. Much better. Okay. I don't like the idea of him being able to... But he's... I'm going to use this. I figure he's got to have removal in his hand for the bodyguard. I'm going to go ahead and stall him. Yeah, but say there's no way he doesn't have targeted removal. Hoping maybe for a board wipe. Just not getting lands. I can't let him have that. Blocked one of them. Guess I could give him a target. Waiting to block. If he takes... Oh, no, apparently he does not have removal in his hand. At least not instant speed removal. Oh, the poor guy forgot to put snowlands in his deck. I don't want to take 6, so... I'm sure he's got something to give this indestructible. Be silly if he didn't. I don't know why you would attack with this if you can't protect it. Just gotta go all or nothing here. Alright. Okay. If I can only get... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this should be enough to... Yeah, I don't know why he didn't swing with everything when he had the chance. I mean, that would have pressured me into blocking. So, basically, I pulled that one out. Just a tactical error on my opponent's part. Alright, and that was the deck. Again, if you thought... If you think this deck has any room for improvement, as always, drop a comment. I'm open to all suggestions. It wasn't bad. We kind of went 50-50 that time. As I've said before, I mean, if I wanted to, I could selectively edit and only, show you the times where it wins. And if you're more interested in that, leave that in the comments too. I mean, the whole point of me leaving this with everything intact is so you see how this deck functions, what you can work with, how to win when you have the right cards, how to pull something out when all hope looks lost, things like that. And one of these days I'm sure I'll make another deck that's just really overpowering. You won't have to worry about that. The Cypher deck I made, ironically enough, I can't believe how powerful that deck turned out. Was not expecting that. But anyway, here's a couple other channels you might enjoy. Really good stuff. They put out content almost daily. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead, like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And we hope we find you safe at home. Have a good one.
No, on second thoughts, let's not go to Camelot. It is a silly place.
Right.